How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Everyday Witnesses. Now today's video is just a little bit different. We're going to be reacting to a video
put out by David Alexander about Jeff with Hello Saints. I already know what the title of this video is going to be. It's going to be Defending Jeff at Hello Saints. Because we love Jeff. We don't think that this video represents him well, and this is just our perspective and take on it.
Yeah. And now this is my first reaction to this video, and this is my brother's second or third watch of it.
Yeah, I've only watched it once, so this will be my second time watching it.
And I've only seen a couple of videos from Pastor Jeff, but the ones I have seen, they're phenomenal, and he puts on a very, very gentle and very nice perspective across the entire board.
Okay, and with that, we'll be fast forwarding a little bit through video clips, and hopefully we can put the video up when we go and edit this. But we're just going to get started watching it and start reacting.
I am concerned about what Pastor Jeff is doing over at Hello Saints. The more I watch him, the more I'm convinced he is trying to undermine the faith of Latter-day Saints in favor of his evangelical beliefs. This opinion, I know, places me solidly in the minority of his viewers, who, by and large, adore him. I came upon Jeff's channel nearly a year ago, and for months, lapped up his content and interviews on other podcasts. My feelings began to change when the pastor posted video reactions to 1 Nephi and Elder Holland's conference talk about the cross, followed by his Come Follow Me live streams. There, I saw not an interest to understand, but rather an eagerness to discount, critique, correct, and evangelize.
So I will say that he has been pretty transparent in his videos on saying that, you know, he's viewing this from a Christian lens. He's showing what he would see from a Christian perspective, which I think is a big deal, because if you're an investigator and you're going through things like, and he's seeing these things, you know, these are things that we can learn on and strengthen our faith in.
Yeah.
So I will say that.
Well, not only that, but I mean, even from a Latter-day Saint perspective of myself, I critique the Bible and the Book of Mormon and all of our scriptures all the time. Like, what about this and this? You know, there's doubts and disbeliefs across the whole spectrum. And to say somebody is trying to mislead somebody because they're giving their perspective and critiques, I think is kind of an opposing view of what is actually going on.
Yeah, and I will say, while we have this paused, the way that this video is put out, like, is very dark and like ominous. What's the word?
Ominous?
Yeah.
Nope, I said it wrong too.
No, it's
You said
no,
it.
it's ominous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just said it a little wrong.
But anyways, it just gives me a bad feeling just watching the video, which I absolutely hate. But you know, that's tips and tricks for editing to try and push a perspective one way or the other. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also having a lot of individuals who have been leaving the Latter-day Saint Church who were pretty much resigned just to agnosticism or atheism, who have, by watching Hello Saints, realized that one can have a relationship with Jesus outside of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and that's critically important. Who have been leaving.
I will say this about this comment. You know, it's not our job to take away somebody's agency. If they want to leave the church, then, you know, that's their agency. You cannot take that away. And to suggest that Jeff is taking away people to provide a safe space for them is probably more helpful than bad. If somebody left the church, I would much rather see them go to Jeff than be agnostic or atheist.
Yeah.
Just because I know the downward spiral that leads to. The point of our channel is not to convince you to become a member of our church, which we would love to have you, and we will always invite you 100% of the time. And, we'd love to have you here. I can't emphasize that enough. But it is more important for me to see that more people believe in God and Jesus Christ before we even start arguing about which religion you should be a part of.
Yeah. And I think the point Pastor Jeff is trying to say here, that not only culturally, but it's no matter what religion you believe, it's always important outside of an organization to have a testimony of Jesus Christ. And I think that's kind of the main point he's getting at here, is you should have a testimony of Jesus Christ outside of that organization or that church building. You're not just going into a church building, putting on a face saying, I'm here, I believe, and then go outside and go break all the commandments or sin because you want to.
Right.
I think it's important because, I wouldn't be a member of this church if I didn't first have a testimony of Jesus Christ.
Right. Continuing.
Original conversation with Greg Mattson comparing our doctrines. It was a refreshing, straightforward video. A genuine, respectful comparison of beliefs. Why then follow up with a live stream teaching the evangelical perspective on all these doctrines? Jeff had already expressed them quite clearly to Greg. It was to teach.
That's because not only that's what he believes in, but it gives people more of a perspective of evangelicals.
Yeah, and he's doing a great job. One of his main phrases is fighting criticism with curiosity. Mm-hmm. And he is building bridges, which I can enjoy immensely after the years of separation that Christianity has had with members of the LDS Church. And I love that he's trying so hard to do something. And heaven forbid that he likes a positive comment saying, that, if something bad happened, I would turn to you. That we should encourage people who are sharing a positive message.
Yeah. No matter what that message is, if it's leading towards a witness of Jesus Christ, then it's good. It's
right.
God.
We are all on different paths in this life. Mm-hmm. So if you look at it as a reflection of, us looking into Christianity, which we plan on doing with our channel and could easily get accused of doing this same thing by building bridges that we plan to build here in our community and throughout the world, hopefully. It could be flipped around just on us. All these things that are being said. And that's just crazy. Think about that perspective for just a minute before you throw it out there. And also, if you view Jeff as an investigator, why would you criticize an investigator that is trying to figure things out? That mindset doesn't make sense to me.
Even from a missionary standpoint, I served an LDS mission, and it's literally statistically proven. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, don't misspeak. They're going to fact check you.
Maybe not literally, but I'm positive that there was a statistic that I heard of or read when I was on my mission, that when you're talking to somebody who's trying to learn of the church, that if you just break them down and be like, oh, that's stupid, why would you do that? Do this instead. It distracts from the Spirit. It literally takes the Spirit away. So how are they supposed to come closer to Jesus Christ if the Spirit is not influencing them about those truths because somebody else kind of took away that chance to have them choose their path?
Right.
He's speaking the language of evangelical Christianity, but he's not demonizing us. He's nice. He's respectful. He's interested. He's concerned. He's like, I want to understand you, and I want you to understand me. I want to understand your faith, and I want you to understand my faith. we're building bridges here, and it's really attractive. And part of it is it's just nice to listen to somebody who's not a Latter-day Saint, who doesn't think we're devils from hell. I believe the man is 100% sincere, but I have to tell you, having been in evangelical Christianity my entire adult life for 47 years, and having been exposed a good deal of that time to the anti-cult movement, having read books like The Kingdom of the Cults by Walter Martin and listened to all these kinds of tapes and stuff, there's a culture and a general idea in evangelical Christianity that this is how you reach people that are involved in cults. You be really nice. You don't challenge them. You don't attack their off doctrines. You pretend to give them an honest listen. And the whole goal is to engage the people that are trapped in the false religion into a warm, ongoing conversation where you build a relationship of mutual trust, and they gradually grow to like you and respect you and give a certain credibility to what you say, and you don't go after them. What you do is you engage them in an ongoing warm conversation, and you drop a little seed of the truth in your own eyes, what you think is true. You give them a little seed of the true gospel here and a little seed of the true gospel there, and your faith can become their faith.
Pastor Jeff seems like a Pied Piper carefully leading unsuspecting saints away step by step from the restored gospel.
I will have to take a huge disagreement on that. I do think that he's honestly trying to build bridges. I think there's mixed messages coming from this video saying that he's all nice and that, he seems really genuine in what he's trying to do. And then there's the perspective of, but he's trying to undermine us secretly and that there's an underlying motive here. I don't get that from any of his videos that Jeff has put out at Hello Saints. And, my thoughts on this are that being members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints doesn't make us entitled to being the only ones that are good in the last days. There are going to be other good people outside of our church. There are going to be other people building with us outside of the church that love God and Jesus Christ just as much as we do. And they're there and they're going to be helping us. That doesn't mean that they have to be members.
Yeah. And in this little section, it almost seems like a double negative where he's putting forth this thought that Pastor Jeff is trying to convert people, but then he's also putting forth this thought of, well, I was this is how they do it, but it's almost like he's doing the same thing with Jeff's church, if that makes sense. It's like, well, if Jeff's bad, then don't go to Jeff. Don't believe what he's believing. Don't listen to what he's listening to or listen to what he's saying because of this is false. But when it comes to the gospel, what he's saying here, our purpose is not to defend the gospel. It's not to say this person's wrong. Doctrinal truths will defend themselves. We need to more stand as a witness and have a testimony of Jesus Christ and of those gospel truths to attack the main enemy, which is Satan, and not each other. When we have more testimonies that Jesus Christ lives, it makes it harder for Satan to be like, oh, what about this little thing about Jesus Christ? He didn't rise from the tomb. There was nobody in the tomb.
Yeah.
It's the little seeds of doubt and contention that split us apart. And so when we're looking at this video seems like it's starting to build contention instead of what Pastor Jeff is doing, which is building bridges.
Exactly. President Nilsson said, what did he say? True peacemakers thwart the adversary.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that happens is if we come together and stop arguing.
Yeah.
That's really the only way.
And
One of the only ways, I guess, because if I say the only way, then I'm just going to get eaten alive. But anyways, but the past, over the past year, I've kind of engaged with evangelical Christians here and there, and been to some of their churches to just kind of see what they are doing over there, because I really don't know a whole lot about them. And, you know, they have the Bible. We have the Bible.
right.
Any perspective that a Christian has is a perspective that I can have.
Mm-hmm.
Any of them. We build on that more with the Book of Mormon and Doctrine and Covenants and Pearl of Great Price and Prophets and Apostles. But Christianity is a great starting spot to learn about Jesus Christ and God.
Right.
There is a tremendous amount of faith with people who are in the Christian culture. This last year, I went on, they deemed it a Jesus March around Easter time. Absolutely incredible. You know, I witnessed firsthand the faith that those people have, and they're not members of our church, and that's okay.
Right.
Off ramps for you. Not a bridge. He's building off ramps, man, off the covenant path into evangelical Christianity. It couldn't be done any more attractively. It couldn't be done by a nicer person. It couldn't be done by anybody more sincere. He's lovely, man. And I don't believe he's malicious one bit.
That doesn't make
He
any
honestly
sense.
believes, any sincere evangelical
He's just contradicting
Christian pastor
himself.
honestly believes that they are doing God a great service to present the true Jesus Christ, if there's any way they can present the true Jesus Christ and the true gospel to people that they believe have a false gospel. Let's hear what Pastor Jeff said, okay? But most importantly, now listen to this. These are his key words. This is why he's doing what he's doing, in his own words. Most importantly, I will continue to drive an understanding and share what I understand, driving an understanding of Jesus that is rooted in truth. That's the why behind Hello Saints.
Okay. Building bridges to building off ramps, and then contradicting yourself and saying that he's genuine and all this, I don't buy it. And you know, David, I appreciate your perspective, but I do not take the same perspective. Let me back it up here, because there's something that he said. Oh, okay. So he's talking about understanding Jesus. This is kind of comical for me, because we're gonna get talking to this later. I don't know what video it's gonna be later. The Jesus that we're talking about, Christians take this perspective of my Jesus. That's totally fine if they want to do that. I don't take that perspective. I think our Jesus is the same Jesus. We're talking about the same people, and we're gonna address that barrier and that wall and see where we get. But I don't see this as an issue. You know, he sees it as grounded in truth. And where is he getting this truth from? The Bible. Something that we have.
Yeah.
And Christians know their Bible very well. And you know, that's great. You know, I hope that they can join together with us, because their understanding of who Jesus is and our understanding of who Jesus is and can come together, and that can be magnified. And that's a tremendous thing that can happen. We view him already in a lot of the same respects. There's just that label on it that drives us away. Well, if you were to compare it to black versus white, well, this is the black team and this is the white team, and they don't mix. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can be combined together.
Yeah.
We can make all sorts of colors.
And on top of like prophets and apostles, we also have to remember, they're called, and they're called through authority, but at the same time they're still human.
Yeah,
They
and
still
we have
mess
to
up and
exercise faith. And this is why I said be careful about what you say. Like, oh no, he's going to start gathering all these saints up and
Do part 2.
Okay, part 2 coming soon. Love everybody, and we love Jeff at Hello Saints. We hope you see this, because I think what you're doing is awesome, and keep on going.
Yeah. We also love David. I mean, he's put out some pretty good content and trying to share the gospel as well.
My testimony is actually on this channel.
Yeah. All right. Stay strong, everyday witnesses.